right, welcome to the After Action Review. I'm your host, Red Rodriguez, and in this episode, I interview Facebook sensation Amuse. Now, you're going to recognize her from those Facebook videos about being a non-commissioned officer, life in the Army, and of course, her drill sergeant videos. She just recently put out a collaboration video with Yusha Thomas, another Facebook sensation. Now, we had some technical difficulties at the very beginning of this interview, so when we pick up, I just finished asking. Basically, she has over 75,000 followers, which is amazing and huge, especially for a young entrepreneur like herself. And I wanted to know, what was her expectation the day that she uploaded her first video? So we're going to take it up from there. I just want to thank her again for being on the show, and let's get to the interview. All right, welcome back to the After Action Review podcast. This is the first time that's happened. We had a moment where camera froze, and then I froze, and then it was just it went all downhill from there. So
the full internet over here.
It's all good. That's why the good Lord gave us some editing, and we'll stitch and edit this all together. It's going to be seamless and great. So we were talking about 75,000 followers that you currently have. And how long ago did you put that first video out?
I think I started the page in 2016. No, 15.
Wow.
August 2015.
It's only been 2 years. In fact, I think I was there. I might have been one of the first maybe 10,000 people that saw that video and just laughed my ass off. So you didn't really have an expectation that it was going to be as big as it was. 2,000 in the first day, in the first 2 days. What did you do with that? What was your reaction? 2,000 people later.
Well, so the first thing I did, because people leave comments. So the first thing I did, I called Jag, because I got a lot of like angry messages, like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this type of stuff," and "Oh, you're embarrassing the Army." And I'm like, this is not embarrassing. This is, just poking fun at certain situations, because you don't know what people are going through. They could be having a bad day, or they just need that one little, hey, somebody else is going through what I'm going through right now. And my first thought was, well, maybe I should quit, So I called Jag, and I called them 3 days in a row. Miss Ward, she's out at Fort Gordon. Hi, Miss Ward. And she helped me. She said, no, as long as you're not being vulgar, as long as you're not being disrespectful. And I had a couple of sergeant majors and first sergeants hit me up. And then I had a few people who were deployed send me messages. They were like, hey, I saw your message today. I was having a bad day. It really pushed me, And that's what kept me going. Because I still get those type of messages, but I get more of the, hey, keep it going. So just going to keep it going.
So I'm not going to lie. When I first saw the video, I did laugh. And then I felt kind of bad for you, because I was thinking, oh, they going to smoke her?
Oh, they tried it. They tried it. So the first video, so like I said, we were deployed in Riga, and I didn't have on one of my 2 combat patches. That was their thing. Oh, you're a 6th lead. You ain't got no combat patch. And I'm like, well, I don't have to wear it, But at the time, my soldier didn't have a patch at all. And she needed something to go on her arm because we had higher ups walking through. So I was like, here, just take this, put this on. They're not going to say anything. So I kind of got mad, and I'm like, well, who said it? What makes a person need a combat badge? Like, I don't have to wear that, And that was one thing. And then, some of the females were like, well, your bun, my bun is on fleek. I've had this bun for 14 years now. And, they're like, oh, it's too big. And, oh, you can't wear scrunchies around it. I'm like, well, so what I'm going to need for everybody to do is go check your regulations before you start coming to me, because, that was before. I was a little less professional than I am now. So, you want to attack everybody. Like, hold up, you don't know me like that. So, I was going for everybody. It was like, okay, you know what? Bam, 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 bam. And I would just ban them. I would never hear from them again. And eventually it got so big, and everybody thought, well, not everybody, but most of the people thought that what I was doing was so positive. I don't even respond to those messages anymore. They respond for me. And that is like a great feeling to have that kind of support,
So and you did this as an active duty member.
I am still active duty. Yes.
Still active duty.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'll tell you, they kind of scare you a little bit. And I remember the talks it would give, like, when social media started becoming increasingly popular. What are you putting out there? You better watch what you're putting out there. And then you see these videos like these, and I call them kids because you got to be a young kid to have this mentality. Although there were a couple of senior people, but these kids that are sitting in their car while revelie's going off or during retreat,
right, trying to hide and everything else, like
right? They're putting a negative spin on the uniform themselves, and then you got people who are taking a chance doing something in the comedy realm, being funny, and as you know, some people in uniform don't have a sense of humor,
right? So, like I said, one of the first things I did, I went straight to Jag 3 days in a row. Like, hey, promise me you're telling me the truth. Okay, I'm not going to go to jail for this. And she was like, look, you're good. I said, okay. So I've actually had one IG complaint that I know of against me. I went to Wiesbaden. I made a video about how many officers were there because when you go to Wiesbaden, they're everywhere.
Yes.
Like, if you look under a car, you got an officer under there. And I guess someone got offended. And I went to the DFAC that day, and a sergeant major, the IG sergeant major, came up to me. He heard my voice, and he said, you know how many calls I got about you today? I stood up. I'm trying to go to parade rest. I'm in civilian clothes. Like, sergeant major, excuse me? Who are you, first off? And he explained it to me. He said, yeah, you really made somebody mad with that video. And I said, why did I make them mad? Wow. And he said, it was about the whole you kind of being extra happy that you were in civilian clothes. And I said, oh, okay. And then I had a couple of comments that were like, oh, you're making it seem like it's okay to run from saluting officers and whatnot. So I had to come out with another video that same night. And it was not as cheerful as the one I put out earlier. So, okay, you know what? A lot of you are saying that I'm not an NCO because I was happy I was in civilian clothes. At no point in time in that video did I say, turn around or run. I said, your salute game has got to be very strong around here because that arm, like, you're going to be good by the time you're done from walking from one end of the street to the other. Never said anything about not saluting, but, people take the videos and however they see it, that's their perception. So I think
I haven't seen another apology video. Is this something that you're steering away from? Like, hey, if you guys got a problem with it, you guys got to deal with it.
Oh yeah, so I in the beginning, like I said, less professional, and I was, and then it was, well, guys, look, I'm trying to make everybody happy, and now it's just like, you know what? You don't have to watch it. I'm not standing over you saying, hey, look at this video.
Right.
If someone sends it to you or they tag you in it and you don't like it, you can remove the tag. There are lots of buttons that you can push to turn it off. It's not up to me because, like I said, at the end of the day, at this point, I don't do it because, like I got to put out another video. I'm trying to be famous. I do it for the messages that I get from those soldiers that are like, oh my God, you have no idea how much you inspire me. Or I watched your video today and I learned something. I always try to put I do a lot of comedic points, but I always try to put like a little mini lesson in them,
So you're 75,000 now deep followers, that is. And I've noticed a progression into branding. So when did you realize, hey, I have potential here as an entrepreneur?
So, okay, I'm sure you know who Yusha Thomas is, right?
I do.
Okay, so I started about 2 weeks before he did. And we had like this little competition between me, him, and Charlie Tank Jr. And he's getting ready to retire, so he has a lot more time to do videos and everything, and I'm still kind of working. Mm-hmm. And, being overseas, I don't have like a lot of help or anything. And he started and he just kept going. So like his numbers just started growing, and I'm like, so what are you doing? To like you're getting all these followers, because I had 40,000 and I thought I was just, the big guy on campus. And I looked at his page one day and he had 68, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm still at 40. Wait, what's going on here? So I actually talked to him, and he came and he said, "Hey, I'm going to try to start a business. That's always been a thing of mine." I was like, "Well, I don't really have time or money. Just because you're in the military doesn't mean you're rich.
Oh,
And
God.
and I don't get paid off of this. A lot of people think that I get paid off of the Facebook. No, I don't get paid. That would have no effect either way if I got paid or not. I just like to do it." And he's like, "I want to start a business." So he started it, and he's going on his second year. So I was like, "Well, you know what? If you can do it, I can do it." And he helped me so much. Like, he said, "Okay, well, this is what you do. You go, you set up your Shopify," and he told me what to download and who to talk to, where to get designers from. So I'm really just starting. I think I've only had it up for about 4 months now.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't decided what I want to do with the funds once they start coming in, because I still have to do like the advertising and everything. So I'm still not on Sergeant Thomas's level, but I'm thinking I would probably take the proceeds and like donate them. I haven't figured it out yet.
What would you say is what was the kind of advice? What type of advice did Yusha give you that you could attribute saying that was the turning point? Like that right there, that turned things around for you.
I would say, well, I don't know. I don't know what the exact turning point was. I think it was more of a, if you can do it, I can do it. Because it's so like
It motivated
me. It's like a push. It's like, okay, you're doing this, I'm gonna do this too. Because it's like, I started first. How are you at this many people? Where are you getting this time from? So it's more like a, hey, I'm gonna catch back up to you, type of deal. But like I said, so it's not about the money or anything with me. Like, I just wanted to open the store. I have people, they'll order stuff, and they'll say, "Hey, it hasn't arrived yet," and I'm like, "Okay, well, let me go on and refund you," and then they just get a free T-shirt. It's more or less, "Hey, this is something else I can say I've done."
I got to say, I like the branding that you've done, especially by the using the Amuse moniker. I love it. I was like, is that her name? How does she? That's because it was brilliant. Amuse, and
right. It's almost like it's destiny, because it's just a play on my first initial and my last name, and I just stuck with it. I'd walk around and be like, "Oh, that's so amusing." Like, if I made a joke or something, I'm like, "Oh, you're so funny. Hey, I'm gonna steal that." So yeah.
And that's a great branding tactic. I mean, you've got something that sticks to the person's mind. I know it's stuck in mine. I may forget a lot of other Facebook people's names, but yours, it's always there. That's Amuse, 100%. So in this branding and these T-shirts, you're expanding into some product. Do you have a marketing plan? Do you have a plan of attack for any of this?
So I have a few people that I met through Facebook that are actually helping me, because I'm still learning the business. So it's like, okay, I jumped into it. I got the page. I got some products out. Now I have to figure out how to get them out, because there are tips and tricks that you do on Facebook. If you put a link in too early, Facebook won't show it to as many people. And like I said, Sergeant Thomas is helping me, and there are a few other civilians that are helping me. Actually, a couple of sergeant majors and a lieutenant colonel as well.
So already, anybody that's watching this, hearing that is it's definitely a positive boost, because I think that if more veterans were interested in entrepreneurship, would network just within their own unit to find out who else is interested in this, they'd be surprised at the kind of support that could be lent their way. And it sounds like you're getting that kind of support.
Most definitely, especially from this unit. They support everything. They're always like, "Hey, I'm looking for your next video." I couldn't like it, because I didn't want anything to come down on me. But I was laughing. I'm like, "Thank you, sir."
So you do a lot of collaborations with Yusha Thomas.
No, I don't. So
those
okay,
we were are the best, by the way. I think there was a couple that just came out. The drill sergeant bit, which, by the way, the drill sergeant bit is my second favorite, only to the warrant officer one. But the stuff you do with Yusha,
So, so again, I was TDY in Gordon last month for some training, and I called him. I said, "Hey, look, I'm going to be in Georgia. Are you in New York? Or are you in Mississippi? Like, where are you at right now?" And he was like, "Well, I'm in Mississippi." I was like, "Okay, can you come to Gordon? I can't come to you because I'm in training, so but I'll be there for 2 weekends. Like, can you find time to come down on a weekend? Like, we've been saying we're going to do it. They're asking for it. Let's do it." And he was like, "Say no more." That's his line right there. "Say no more, fam. I got you." And I'm like, yes. So he came down and we knocked out as many as possible. So the ones that are just now coming out are all the ones that we did during that weekend.
And I kind of want to know about the one video where you're in the back seat of the car and you're like, they called the cops on us because they thought there was a domestic dispute.
So there we were standing in full old school drill sergeant attire, hats and everything, yelling at a camera. And we were actually in the back of a Kroger.
Okay.
We were trying to find a wood line, but we didn't want to go too far. It was hot, and one of the soldiers had lent me the winter BDU. So I was like, "Hey, where are we going? Let's go somewhere close to where we're at. So I might need some water. I might need ice sheets." And so I was like, "Hey, I know a place. It's empty." So they had like an open lot in the back of the Kroger, but there was a Chinese restaurant right there. So we go in. We're like, "Hey, pop right!" And the lady pokes her head out of the door, and we saw her when she did it, and we're like, "Okay, let's just keep going." She clearly saw that we were recording something. Right. We should be good. And about 5 minutes later, just whoop, whoop, and they come around. And the thing that blew my mind was Sergeant Thomas has such a large following now that the cop recognized him. I was like, "Oh, my God. Yo, oh my God." And he's like, "No, Jill." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm starstruck right now."
That's
but
awesome.
we ended up getting in the car because they had made the complaint, so we had to leave. And we get in the car, and I put on Facebook, I'm like, "Hey, everybody, we just got stopped by the cops. Someone said that we were having a domestic dispute, although we weren't yelling at each other, And he was like, no, we going back." I'm like, They might have recognized you, but hey, just know when the cop says leave, you leave. That's why people getting whooped today. I don't play when it comes to nope. What'd you say, officer? What would you hands right here? What you need? Sure thing. You want to reach in and get it, or you want me to get it? No.
I saw that and I sat back and I wondered, I'm like, is this a bit? Because
that was not a bit. That was real life. And I think that's what makes the videos so funny, is the fact that they're based on real life events.
So you are going down a route of entrepreneurship that I see a lot of young people jumping into. And you called it Facebook famous. And I think that's a really good moniker for it. I mean, being Facebook famous or YouTube famous.
Right. So Facebook famous, because you're not like famous, but on Facebook, you're famous.
You're famous on Facebook. And how are you dealing with that? I mean, you're active duty, you're in leadership positions. How do you balance the responsibility of being an NCO and also being Facebook famous, the exposure that you get?
So it is kind of weird. So everyone here knows me. I'll go to the DFAC and they're like, "Hey, you're that sergeant that makes those videos." And I'm like, "Yeah, and I kind of like, because I'm really like, I'm not an outgoing person. Like, I like to talk. I can do one-on-one. Like, I can do this. But when it's like a group of people, they're like, "Hey, we saw your videos." It's kind of like, "Oh, yeah," I get real like shy. I don't know why I get embarrassed, but it's like, "Yeah, that's me," and it's more or less, it does kind of have an effect because, of course, the mission and the job is always going to come first. So I might not always get a chance to say, "Okay, we need you to put out 2 videos this week." I can probably get you one. I can probably get you 1 2-minute video because, I got other stuff I have to do. So I don't think it's that hard. And then it doesn't really stop there because once I do my duties on the job, I'll come in, I'll look at my messages, and sometimes I'll get a message from a soldier that might have an issue that they're going through. And I like that I can go to my page and there are NCOs that are willing to help. So I'll type out, hey, APB, we got a soldier here at Fort Bragg who has this, and this going on. Is there anyone who can help? And within minutes, there are NCOs that are like, hey, give that soldier my number, tell her to inbox me. So I think I got it balanced pretty good. It's just that face to face, it's kind of awkward when people walk up because you don't know them,
Yeah.
But I'm not a mean person. I'm not gonna be like, "L, get away from me." I want to talk. Like I tell them all the time, "Hey, I'm gonna be at the food court." So when I went to Gordon, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be at the food court. Don't be shy. If you want to come up, you want to take a selfie, I'm here." And I had people coming up, and it was like, oh wow, so they really want this. Okay, hey, all right, and that's pretty much how it goes. So I think I found a pretty good balance.
I've seen that with so when I was in Bagram this last tour as a civilian, I was training with and I just happened to be in the same spot as MMA fighter Colton Smith, who is also active duty and a celebrity. So it was the first time I've ever seen or had to deal with that level of celebrity where if we're walking somewhere, somebody's going to stop and be like, "You're Cole Smith." "Oh, wow. Hey, man, can I get a picture or can you sign something?" And he's, the nicest guy in the world. But to me, he was Colton. But it was the first time I'd ever been exposed to that level of notoriety, of fame. And I tried to put myself in his shoes for a minute. I'm like, this has got to be weird.
It is. It does get kind of awkward. I mean, I like it, but it is kind of awkward. Because you don't know who likes you and who doesn't. So they come up and they're like, "Hey, you're starting Amuse." It's like, okay, are they going to cuss me out or are they going to say great job? I don't know. It's always that thing of, what do you got to say? And then you don't want to be that person that's like, "Yeah, that's me. You want a picture? You want an autograph? What you want?" So I'm always like, did you want to take a picture with me? and sometimes, I'll be like, "Hey, I want to take a picture with you." Someone else recognize me, and I'll put it on my page.
That's
crazy.
What would you say are your inspirations for the comedy that you're putting out? I mean, I know it's very military focused, but
right.
What other influences have affected your comedy?
Honestly, my parents, basically growing up, like, I wouldn't say I had like a comedic idol. I do like people like Chris Rock or, let me see, who else? Daniel Tosh. He's kind of rough, but I like him too. Just their style, I think, is pretty cool. I can't go as far as they go, as far as the vulgarness. That's why I'm kind of nervous about the videos that I put out with Yusha, because there's a lot of it. And my mom calls and she's like, "Where? What?" And I'm like, he told me he was gonna bleep it out. He told me, so I went full drill sergeant mode. "Mom, please don't hit me," But yeah, just experiences, because I try to find humor in everything, and I will crack a joke in the darkest of times. It might not be the right moment, but I'm always that one that's like, "Oh, well, oops, too soon." And they're like, "Sarmius, really?" "Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm just gonna back up."
Isn't that back? But that's the veteran way. That is the soul. That's what I think is one of the clear delineations between a civilian and a veteran or an active duty service member. Is our level of humor is
right.
It can get pretty dark, and only people in the know are going to get it.
So so I guess that would be an inspiration. Being on the drill sergeant trail and having to, fall in under the infantry drill sergeants, because every platoon has to have at least one infantry platoon sergeant, and I just happen to be in a platoon every time with both infantry males, and they go in. Like, their humor is way darker. I learned everything from them because I came on the drill sergeant trail, E5, the nicest person. Like the way I'm talking now, you know, it's like, oh, okay, so you know what types of things do we do? And by the end of it, I'm like, yo, what the? And it's just the transformation. Being on the trail changes a little something, and yeah, I try to keep that inside, but it came out in those videos I did with Sergeant Thomas. I'm actually kind of embarrassed because my mom is that language girl. Like, oh, okay.
I read one of the comments, and it said, "Female drill sergeants are the worst and scariest of the bunch." Now, I had a female drill sergeant when I was a young private, and I don't remember her name, which is surprising, but I remember her because she was terrifying. Do you get that a lot? Like the persona that you put on, or do you have people like have you had privates reach out to you that were yours and they're like, I remember
that are like, drill sergeant, you still scare me to this day. I do. I have a lot of soldiers that reach out and tell me that. I think it's more or less because female drill sergeants have more to prove than the males do. You know, it's like, okay, well, you're a female. What are you going to do? What can you bring to the table? Like, we're infantry. What do you got? So you come with like the hardest stuff that you can think of, because you're not only trying to scare the soldiers, you know, you want to break them down and build them up, but you want to impress those infantry males there. So when they go, hey, that's a little rough, you know, you made it. And I've had that a few times. You know, they're like, hey, you know, calm down just a little bit. I'm like, I'm just saying, you know. So yeah.
So tell me,
drill sergeants are definitely the worst. My female sergeant, Drill Sergeant Obey, that is a hell of a name. Her name was Drill Sergeant Obey. I remember her to this day. And if she walked in my house right now, I would probably go to parade rest.
Yeah. I had one of my former drill sergeants actually came to my active duty unit when I was in Germany. Was my first duty station. And I remember Drill Sergeant Hansen, I was working the orderly room, and I heard his voice when he walked in. And he was asking, is this Bravo Battery? And I remember, I had my head down, and I was like, oh, dear God. Like, Satan? Satan, is that you? And he just looks at me, and I stood up, and I did exactly what I stood up to parade rest.
Right.
And he looks at me, and he's like, I ain't a drill, so I'm no more private. Sit down. And I was like, but you're still talking to me like a drill sergeant. What are you talking about, man? But, so, tell me, what is next for Amuse?
Let's see. So I put in a warrant packet, right? I tried it. I did try it. So I had fully qualified, but not selected. So I said, okay, well, let me see what I can update. So I'll get the 401, and I'll get a little bit more college. I can do this. Then I found out I have bilateral tears or possible tears in my knee. So, you know, unless it's combat related, you know, you can't finish the packet. So maybe I will get Sergeant First Class. I'm already indefinite. So if I don't get warrant, then I'm definitely going to try to be somebody's Sergeant Major. Like that is what I want to do. As far as the comedic side, I'm going to keep making these videos until someone says, hey, you know, you're a first sergeant now. You can't make these videos, or you know, you're the command sergeant major of this unit. You can't do this. Yes, I can. So they have to physically stop me. Right.
So what happens when Hollywood comes knocking at your door and says, hey, we've seen your Facebook page. We love your comedy. We want to take you to the next level. What do you do?
If that happened, I would probably go for it. I definitely would try to go for it. So, you know, I was the girl in her room giving concerts to invisible people, like singing, dancing, you know, door closed. My mom's downstairs calling me and I don't hear her. She comes up, you don't hear me calling you? And I'm like, no, I don't. You gave me the soundproof room for this reason. Exactly. So I think that's something I would probably be interested in if it ever happened.
So right now, there is a young, aspiring, funny soldier, veteran, who is looking at this thinking, I want to be like Amuse. I want to put out these videos. I want to be funny. I want the following. What's your advice to them?
So I would tell them the same thing that I told a few that have come to me already. All right. If this is something you feel you want to do on a professional level, first thing you have to remember is always respect the uniform. You know, it's one thing to make a video just for likes. You know, it's just whatever. Hey, let's go. Let's toss the puppy off the cliff. You know, something just to get a reaction. Or, you know, you can do something positive. You can do it from the private point of view. So, you know, you have all NCOs doing this right now. And I'm pretty sure there are soldiers out there like, hey, I want to do it. Don't disrespect the uniform. There are a lot of situations that privates go through, you know, and they would reach a wide audience. Let's say, for instance, you know, they all get in trouble and they have to do the GIing of the barracks because of that one soldier. You know, you can make a video about that. Just like I said, one more time. Say it one more time. Third time's a charm. Don't disrespect the uniform. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And people will support you if you are doing it in a positive light. Like, don't do it to, oh, you know, the Army is so bad and I can't wait until I get out. So I'm going to do a video about this and I'm going to make it as bad as possible, you know? So, yeah. I say go for it, you know? The app to use if you're using a iPhone like me, because I do all my stuff on my phone, is called Video Shop. Video Shop. It'll take you about 5 minutes to learn how to use it. Works charms.
Video Shop.
Video Shop.
All right. So before I let you go, before we even started recording, there was a story I told you I was going to ask you about.
Oh.
And it involves a WTF moment.
Uh-huh. Yes, I'm ready.
Tell me about your WTF moment.
So, they sent me a message. You know, they're like, "Hey, we wanna do this interview with you," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." You know, might get some followings. Like people watch their pages and everything, and you know, I figured it would be calm. It would be, you know, kind of like this one here. You know, just okay, asking me questions, and they found the worst videos and they asked me the worst questions, and I'm just like, oh my God, my mom is listening. You know, there was this one video I did where I accidentally switched up to the words to a candy. I'll say a candy. I won't say it now, but a candy.
The Reese's video. Yes. Okay. So if you're interested,
that was like the first thing they hit on, and I'm like, oh my God, they're about to tear me up on this show. And it actually wasn't too bad. Like I had fun, and they invited me back. I just haven't had a chance to do it just yet. So the guy, he says he knows me. I still can't figure out who he is. Like he kept saying that throughout the whole interview. He's like, if I told you who I was, you would flip out. And I'm like, God, who is this? And I still do not know. But yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. Funny, but embarrassing at the time. At the time, I was just like, oh my God, I want this to end. You know.
Well, I'm glad this one went well for you, and hopefully
this one went very well.
Amuse, thank you so much for your time and your inspiration. Hopefully, young entrepreneurs will follow in suit and learn how to do these funny videos. And great advice. Really appreciate everything that you're doing out there and all your time. And you know what? Now that I'm civilian, I get to say this. Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate that. Should I say used to be invisible? I think you know what I mean when I say that. Used to be.
Still trying to be every day. All right.
I put out one thing.
Dude.
Okay, look. Hey, everybody. I just want to let everybody know that me and Yusha Thomas are not in a relationship. All right? He is happily married, and I have a boyfriend who is getting very upset every time you guys post something like that. So, no, we are not together. We are not going to get together. We are just really good friends. You know, we just support each other very well, and I'm glad to call him my friend. There we go.
I want to come clean on this one. That's my fault as well, because I believe I asked you, I was like, so is Thomas your husband or a friend? And you were like, he is a friend, not my husband. I was like, okay, now I feel dumb for even asking. So if we want to watch more Amuse videos and we want to follow you on social media, where do we go?
Okay, so if you would like to follow me on Instagram, it is at Amuse31, AMUSE 31. I was 31 when I made it. Yay! And then if you would like to visit my website, I have my Facebook. All you have to do is type in Amuse. You'll see me wearing one of my signature T-shirts. And if you would like to go to YouTube, I have a channel. Just type in Aston Muse, and it will bring up all of my videos. And I also have a Shopify store. It is called Amuse Apparel, and you can just go to www.myshopify.amuseapparel.com, or the shorter one, www.shopamuseapparel.com.
So, what? We're not on the Twitter? What are you doing? You're not on the.
You know what?
You're hilarious.
I have stuff that goes to Twitter, right? I set that up a long time ago. I can't remember the username. I can't remember the password. From what I remember, someone else stole my name and my picture.
Wow.
It's so much going on with that. So I do have a Twitter page, and everything that I put on my Facebook goes to my Twitter page. I just have not figured out how to get back in there.
Okay, well, you need to figure that out, because I want to subscribe to your Twitter. I want to follow you on Twitter. I want to see the ridiculous stuff that you're going to put out there, because it cracks me up. It keeps me in stitches. Amuse, thank you so much for everything, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gents, that does it for the After Action Review podcast. I want to thank Amuse one more time for joining me on the show. We had a little bit of technical difficulty at the very beginning, but hey, that's part of the game here. And expect some more technical difficulties as I go overseas and have to deal with the Kuwaiti internet service. Really quick, make sure that you're going to have all these links and everything that she just mentioned. They're going to be linked up to the bottom of this post. And make sure that you go and give her another follow. And make sure while you're at it, you're following me too. Facebook.com/TheAAR podcast. That's it. That does it for me, folks. Thanks again for everything. And I will see you at the next episode.